string launchers, winder launchers, small launchers, big launchers, decked out launchers, and even just a plain simple launcher. Since 1999, Beyblade has not been shy with an extensive library of various different kinds of launchers to be able to launch your Beyblades into the stadium and enter into a battle. But with this wide range of launchers, which is the best launcher for your blading style? Now that we finally understand what Beyblade X is, and also managing to select our very first Bey for Beyblade X, which launcher actually works best for the style of Beyblade that you have chosen? Now, Beyblade X so far comprises of two dominant styles of launchers. You have your winder launcher featuring a multitude of gears within that is rotated at an extremely high speed with a ripcord. And then you have your string launcher, a string or a rope attached to a recoiling spring in the center. Similarly rotates the gears, giving the same type of power as a winder launcher. Once you have selected your Beyblade and Beyblade X, your launchers actually do play a very pivotal part in whether you're going to win or whether you're going to lose. And it all depends on the blade that you have chosen, as well as a combination of the ratchet and the bit. Some bays and some combos, the more power you use will cause the bay to self-destruct in the stadium, ring itself out, and give you very little chance of actually winning a battle. Meanwhile, other bays require such a significant amount of power when launched in order to successfully defeat an opponent. So in today's video, we're going to discuss both the winder launcher and the string launcher, and even the subcategory of a winder launcher, the Proto launcher, and we're going to discuss and showcase which launcher styles actually work best for each of the given types of Beyblades. Now, to start things off, we do have the Proto launcher. The Proto launcher is a subcategory of the winder launcher. Now, it does feature the similar gear system and a ripcord similar to that of the winder launcher. However, the Proto launcher does lack the gear multipliers that are within the standard winder launcher for Beyblade X. Now, the one key difference between the winder launchers in Beyblade X compared to the previous generations of winder launchers and ripcord launchers, there's a small plastic piece installed by Takara Tomy and the manufacturing companies themselves that prevents the gears from continuing to spin past once the weight of the bay has been dropped and the ripcord has left the gears. Now, with Beyblade X, with that plastic piece removed and the gear stoppers fully removed, your Beyblade X winder launchers are able to carry through for a complete rotation of the gears, allowing for you to be able to launch even harder than you have ever before. Now, the great thing about the winder launchers in Beyblade X, and with the removal of the gear stoppers in the winder launchers themselves, the stronger you are, the more you train, the faster you are. It will reflect and show in your blading as well, and in the strength and the power behind the launch you have. But the Proto launchers are a simple, smaller version of the winder launchers. Now, without the gear multipliers, it does still provide a very solid launch. However, the only difficulty within these Proto launchers that you may have noticed is the lack of being able to hold the launcher itself. So entering in an official competition with a Proto launcher, if you're able to hold it, essentially, you will still be able to get a decent launch and a decent chance in a Bey battle. Now, where Proto launcher kind of falls place in the scale of power is right between the winder launcher and the string launcher. So the Proto launcher is good for just simple casual fun. It's definitely not something you're going to want to enter into a competition with. But the two main launchers that you would enter a competition with are right here. You have your winder launcher and your string launcher. Now, like mentioned before, with the burst stoppers removed, Takara Tomy did go all out with these launchers. Now, your winder launcher is just an utter powerhouse of a launcher. With the gear multipliers within the launcher, you're able to launch with the full power of your own physical capabilities, being able to launch your Bey into the stadium with an incredible amount of RPM, or rotations per minute. Now, the downside with using a winder launcher is accuracy. Now, some Beyblade combos do require some specific angles, some specific accuracies, and specific places on the stadium where you want to launch if you want to win. So with those Beyblade X combinations, a winder launcher is just simply not going to cut it. Now, the types of bays that you definitely want to use a winder launcher for For the sheer power is going to be your stamina types and your defense types. With your stamina types launching at that maximum power, getting that full rotation in that spin will allow for them to outspin just about any other Beyblade out there and outspin other stamina combinations who use the string launcher. Now defense types is where it starts to get a little bit dicey on whether you want to use a winder launcher or a string launcher. Now with the defense type, you do want to have the max amount of power possible in your launch, so your Bey will be able to spin and be able to parry off all the heavy attacks from the heavy hitting Beys such as Phoenix Wing or even Drawn Buster. But defense types launching it at the wrong angle will cause that Bey to lose, burst, or get flung out of the stadium with relative ease. Now alongside stamina type Beys and defensive type Beys, the winder launcher does play a pivotal role with your balance type Beys. Now once more, Beyblade X Takara Tomy did rewrite the rules of every single typing. Now with the balance type Beys, their performance does rely heavily on the angle of your launch and the location of your launch into the Bey stadium. Using a winder launcher will give it incredible power once more, and depending on the angle of which you launched it, could give it the advantage that your balance type Bey does need. So your balance type Beys will actually fit very well with either of these two launchers, with a string launcher or even a winder launcher. If you have a balance type Bey that's going to be more focused on the stamina aspect or defensive aspect, you will want to use a winder launcher. Now only in very risky situations would you want to use a winder launcher in an official tournament with an attack type Bey. Attack type Beys are very precise killing machines in Beyblade X. Now the pinpoint accuracy that an attack type needs to be able to take advantage of any other type in the game, including defensive types, fully relies on the location of your launch as well as a precise angle in that launch as well. And that moves us over to your string launcher. Now your string launcher in Beyblade X is almost just as powerful as your winder launcher. The only thing that separates these two apart is going to be the amount of power that could be put into a string launcher. Now the string launcher with a string that has a limited amount of reach does restrict the amount of power that you can put into your launch in your battles. So your string launchers are primarily used for complete control over your Bey as well as some pinpoint accuracy when accuracy is needed for your Bey combo. Now the amount of control that an attack type needs in a Bey battle does require primarily the use of a string launcher. Using a string launcher with an attack type Bey will give it a distinct advantage against attack types being used with a winder launcher. However, you must remember that a winder launcher does have an unlimited amount of launch power. The power of the launch fully depends on the physical strength of the blader itself. Meanwhile, your string launcher is going to be restricted to the length of the string. So going up against someone who has mastered a winder launcher with another attack type, the winder launcher will give strong advantage over an attack type being used with the string launcher. Now bits such as the accel bit, the flat bit, the gear flat bit all rely heavily on a pinpoint accuracy when it comes to your launch. So using a string launcher is just a perfect way of being able to learn that angle and learn the precision needed to be able to master those types of bits. Now the one advantage that a string launcher will always have with an attack type Bey over an attack type Bey being used with a winder launcher is the amount of control. A winder launcher that produces too much power for an attack type Bey will cause it to either ring itself out, burst itself, or even go completely out of control to where it makes no contact and completely drains the Bey of all stamina. Meanwhile, despite the restrictions of power that a string launcher has in the launch itself with an attack type, it does provide it with absolute control and being able to get that accuracy down without overpowering your attack type. Now in Beyblade X, too much power is a bad thing. In Beyblade X, it is all about the controlled power that you have. Now this is not saying that a string launcher is better than a winder launcher or a winder launcher is better than a string launcher. The fact of the matter is both these launchers are actually equally as powerful and equally as useful. For those struggling to be able to use a winder launcher and get the accuracy and the precision and the controlled amount of power needed for their Beys, using a string launcher does provide you with the training necessary of being able to learn to control your Bey. Both launchers have been an equal fan favorite of fans and bladers from across the world. Many love the string launcher and many love a winder launcher. So whether you choose a winder launcher or a string launcher in the next Beyblade competition, there will be no judgment from other bladers out there. But using the correct launcher for your Beyblade combo will provide you with a better advantage and a better chance of being able to win and defeat your other opponents in a Beyblade competition. So in the end, selecting your launcher fully depends on the combos that you have. If you're an attack type, or you have a combo that is far more aggressive, that requires more control, a string launcher is a launcher you're going to want to select. But if you do have a Beyblade combo that's primarily focused on outspinning others, you're going to want to use the winder launcher. But however, your winder launcher does provide with the possibility of being able to overpower your Beys, which will cause your Beys of any type to be more prone to bursting or self-KOing. Now that is everything for this video. I do appreciate you guys jumping in and watching and supporting the new series of Bey-Education or Bey-Education right here on Let's Spin Beys, where we're going to go over the basics of just everything Beyblade X to get your feet on the ground with Beyblade X and be able to enter some competitions and actually stand a chance and even take some wins. Now stay tuned for later on this week. We do have some more Beyblade X content coming out. In the meantime, have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.